this is Ben from HeyUGuys.co.uk. We're here at Westfield for the world premiere of Three Musketeers. Well, sorry, the Three Musketeers. And behind me, people setting up, getting ready, laying the carpet's laid, as you can see. It's almost like being in a small village in France. I say almost, it's nothing like being in a small village in France. But it's nice, it's pretty, and to my left here, there's a pretty musketeer. Thank you, Paul. Very quickly, because I know you're in a rush. Obviously, I know that there was original drafts that were much closer to the book. At what point did Ray, Matthew and Luke come on board? Because they, to me, feel very much sort of the traditional musketeer characters. They're perfect for the roles. I wondered whether they came about early on in the project and it then changed to a much more crazy, less traditional.
No, they were on board for the more 21st century approach right from the off. You know, because they knew that they epitomised the Musketeers. We were putting the Musketeers realistically on screen, but also we're giving the audience something extra.
Thank you very much. Ben from HeyUGuys. So, Three Musketeers then. Was there? You've obviously gone completely crazy with it.
Yeah.
Was there a temptation to go a little bit more straight down the line at all?
First draft of the script was more conventional, and we read it and we thought this is going to be good, but why should an audience that can have pirates, that can have X-Men, that can have Captain America, why should they all go to see this movie? We have to let ourselves go and try and find the spirit of Dumas. And literally one script meeting we had the idea of airships. You know, Dumas was a great popular writer. He wanted entertainment, and I think he'd be very proud to see the version of his book that we've achieved.
Fair enough. To me it sort of strikes me as, well, certainly when I was watching, I thought if I were a 10-year-old boy I'd absolutely go crazy for it. But obviously because of, I presume it was the language, you've got a 12A rating. Does that worry you at all?
No, I think the audience will find it. I think the intensity of the action was necessary for the action scenes to really carry you through. You know, it's difficult with ratings because if you go too young, then the older section get a little bit alienated. It's a movie for everybody, and everybody will eventually find it.
It was unbelievable. I mean, I'm so glad that I have all the experience with action to be able to bring to this, because it made my husband's role a lot easier, and that's my main thing, is when I work with my husband, I just want to make his life easier because he is so on top of it. He's such a visionary, and he's so meticulous about making a great movie, getting better and better each time. This is the apex of his career, so anything I can do to just make his life easier is appreciated. So, but I have to say, doing those stunts in a big, heavy 30-pound skirt and a corset was quite something.
Must be used to Ben from HeyUGuys. I've just spoken to Jeremy, and he mentioned that there was a sort of another, much more staid, normal sort of Musketeers adaptation as a draft. Was that yours?
I'm sorry?
Was that first draft of it that was much more much less sort of mad, your draft, or was it another writer?
I was a screenwriter, also a very, very talented screenwriter by the name of Andrew Davies, who kind of laid the foundation for it in terms of the characters and in terms of kind of the more classic elements of the novel. In a way, it made my life very much easier coming in, and then I came in with sort of crazy vision of, you know, kung fu and like, can my lady have a ninja for a servant? And there's one sequence which is not in the movie, we just couldn't afford it. But hopefully, if we does well, we'll do a sequel. It's going to be in it, which was involved, you know, Chinese pirates and an Arab assassin and all this stuff. So yeah, that's what I kind of brought into it. What was very important to me was keeping the spirit of the book and keeping the things about the book that are timeless, all for one and not for all, but then throwing in this kind of new sensibility. I wanted it to be the Three Musketeers for the new generation. I wanted it to be a reimagination rather than repeat.
You had me there with ninja for a servant. Now, that's not in the film, is it? What happened?
Listen, like I said, you know, I just hope the movie does very, very well, because there is a lot of things we wanted to do for the movie which were like, oh, it's so good, but, you know, can't squeeze it into this movie. So you guys go see it. There's going to be a lot more of that.
And presumably, I was going to ask you how you decided what to keep in and what to take out, because obviously you've got...
Well, like I said, it's ideas we talked about over the course of the creative process. Certain things you sort of have the budget limitations. Certain things you talk about and you go, it's a little too crazy, it's a little too far out.
Well, I sort of meant more from the original story, because obviously you've got various elements from the original story, like the courtyard fight, the Milady De Winter's death.
Well, the courtyard fight is a great example. The courtyard fight, if you recall from the book, it is 4 musketeers against 6 cardinal guards. And every movie I've seen up to this point, it very much is faithful to that. So, when I was writing that scene, it was 4 against 40. And very much written in the tradition of like the classic, Shaw Brothers kung fu movies with samurai fights, where it's just a lot of crazy action. That right there and then was because in today's day and age, if you see 4 guys fighting 6, you're like, yeah, it's not that impressive. 4 against 40, no, that's something.
Okay, thank you very much, Alex. Ben from HeyUGuys.
HeyUGuys. HeyUGuys.
You've done quite a lot of these crazy fantasy epics now. You've done quite a lot of these crazy fantasy epics now. Do you ever sit there and think, you know what I really want? Just a nice, normal, modern set, like
feet up, cup of tea,
maybe a Ken Loach film.
Fire. No, I enjoy it. It's fun. It's a really good time.
I hear a bit of film fan. So, other than this film, which obviously I'm sure you're going to tell me is your favourite Three Musketeers film. Other than this film, which is your favourite version of Three Musketeers?
My favourite? Personally, I like the Man in the Iron Mask a lot.
Yeah. DiCaprio one.
Yeah.
Alright, great, thanks guys.
Yeah, it's classic. Take care, guys.
Ben from HeyUGuys.
Hey Ben, how you doing? I was going to show you how, but you got a microphone in.
Sadly. So, Three Musketeers then?
Yes.
It's a bit, strangely it sort of seems like the ideal role for you, Porthos.
Strange that, isn't it? Yeah, it's amazing how you gravitate, or you get what you deserve. I don't know, just desserts. No, it's an amazing role, and one you just relish in. It's like, but I think it's the genius of the casting with like Matthew and Luke and stuff. I never met these guys before. Matthew's work I'd admired for so long. When I knew it was him, I thought, oh my God, I've always wanted to work with him. The day we met, we just like looked around and just thought, oh my God, this is right. This just feels right, and it was such fun. It was one of the happiest sets and continuing happy sets that I've worked on.
Looking forward to the sequel then.
Do you know, if France calls, noblesse oblige.
You do seem to, obviously the big man with a sword sort of originated, there was a horrible innuendo there, sort of originated with Rome. Was there any news on the movie that got talked about?
It's been a long while now, and I really can't comment. I mean, there's too many people involved, and to make that kind of decision, it would be lovely, but I couldn't comment. So,
will we be seeing you again in a Marvel role next summer, perhaps?
I'm busy filming G.I. Joe 2, going toe to toe with The Rock.
So no time.
Tend to survive, but I can't possibly tell.
Thank you, Rick. Gabriella, Ben from HeyUGuys. This is obviously sort of I know you've been in St. Trinian's before, but this is obviously your first major role in a feature. Was it everything you hoped it would be?
It was amazing, and I was so lucky to kind of have this, my first big role, because it had a big cast who were kind of so talented, but also so sweet and down to earth and friendly, so it was great.
Did you ever see the guys sort of doing all the action stuff and sit there and think, do you know what, I'd really like a sword fight?
I was so jealous watching it. My first scene we filmed was the Cardinal's Guards, this huge battle scene where I meet D'Artagnan, and just watching them all do it, I was itching to grab a sword, but not appropriate for Constance, so.
That's a shame. Have you got anything else lined up yet, or?
I do have a couple of things, but nothing I want to jinx by saying just yet, so.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah. So obviously you're playing sort of the king in this film, and he's a bit of he doesn't get to get involved in much of the action, sadly. Did you stand there and think, I'd really like a fight right now?
Constantly, but when you've got a dance like I have, who needs a fight?